A millionaire CEO enjoyed his meal when a little girl scribbled on his napkin. He wept. Before we plunge into the tale, share your location in the comments below. Immerse yourself in the tale. Jason Blackwood's finger drummed against the crystal rim of his wine glass, his attention slipping away from the eager investment bankers around him. At 45, the CEO of Blackwood Enterprises wore a mask of engagement, all while his mind raced, plotting 3 steps ahead. Shadows danced across faces at Pinnacle Restaurant, the dim lighting amplifying the tension in the air. Jason's life unfolded perfectly, each moment meticulously orchestrated, each choice precise, each danger weighed. His empire thrived on this razor-sharp precision. The waiter glided in, silently whisking away the appetizer plate. As the porcelain rose, Jason caught a glimpse of what lay beneath. A napkin, meticulously folded. With a practiced smile, he picked it up, curiosity igniting within him. "Excuse me," he whispered, revealing it in the shadows beneath the table. The handwriting, though childish, held a surprising neatness that tugged at the heart. "My grandmother Margaret is slipping away. She claims you're my father. Pine Hills shelter awaits us. Hurry, before the moment slips away." Jason's hand stilled, caught in a moment of dread. The chatter blurred into a distant hum. Margaret, a name that echoes Emily, the first love he lost nearly a decade ago. Their love burned bright, but his job consumed him whole. He embraced ambition, leaving love behind, never glancing back. "Mr. Blackwood, the projection figures are alarming." Jason shot up, the chair screeching against the floor. "I have to go. Urgent family crisis." The words tasted strange on his tongue. Blood ties that bind, love that endures. That excuse was uncharted territory for him. 20 minutes later, his Bentley arrived at Pine Hills Shelter, a stark brick structure, its windows glowing like beacons in the dark night. Jason remained frozen, his knuckles pale and tense on the steering wheel. A weary woman guided him through a dim hallway to a cramped office. "She's been waiting for you," the director said, urgency in his voice. "Margaret made it clear. We had to find you if anything went wrong." Jason's voice trembled on the edge of breaking. "Where is she now?" The girl who walked in moments later stole Jason's breath away. 8 years old, blonde hair cascading around a fragile face. Her eyes, a vivid blue, pierced through him, stealing his breath away. Eyes staring, a haunting reflection. She unveiled her delicate wrist, exposing a crescent-shaped birthmark that mirrored his. "Hello," she whispered. "I am Sophia." The empire builder, master of boardrooms, stood frozen, words escaping him. In that instant, Jason Blackwood understood that his vast fortune was worthless next to the small girl before him. Before him stood the daughter he never knew existed. Jason's gaze locked onto Sophia, his thoughts spiraling in a whirlwind of disbelief. The small office in Pine Hills Shelter closed in, the director squirming in her chair. "This is a shock, Mr. Blackwood," she said, shattering the silence. "Maybe you need a moment alone with Sophia." Jason nodded, his eyes locked on the girl's face, lost in a storm of emotions. The director emerged, the door clicking shut with a whisper. "How did you discover me?" he finally asked. Sophia's tiny fingers twisted the hem of her worn blue sweater, a silent storm brewing within. "Grandma held onto a box filled with your business cards and newspaper clippings, each piece a fragment of your story. She revealed your picture just before her voice trembled, barely holding steady. Before her illness took hold, Jason collapsed into a chair, meeting his daughter's gaze with a heavy heart. Her light. The idea remained elusive, slipping through fingers like sand. "Emily never mentioned you," he said, his voice thick with regret and simmering anger. "Why was she silent?" Sophia shrugged, her eyes eerily mirroring his, studying him intently. "Mom said you were creating something significant, that you had your own world." She hesitated. "She whispered that one day, when I was ready, the choice to seek you would be mine." Jason's heart clenched painfully. Emily shielded him from duty, losing herself in the process. It was quintessentially her, endlessly giving, even to the one who had left her behind. "When did your grandmother?" 3 days ago, Sophia spoke with the unfiltered honesty of children confronting the unbearable. She clung desperately, fighting against the inevitable. The director arrived, clutching a folder of documents tightly. Emily Harrison listed you as Sophia's father on her birth certificate, yet she never sought legal recognition or assistance. She pushed a stack of papers across her desk, urgency in every movement. Here are the guardianship forms. We must confirm paternity officially, but the likeness is striking. Jason's ears barely registered her voice. His mind raced, sharp and focused, like a blade ready to strike in the world of business. 3 days without Margaret felt like an eternity. 3 days alone in the shelter, Sophia felt the weight of silence pressing down on her. Alone. The child wept for her grandmother, lost in a sea of sorrow without a soul to hold her. I need to take her home, he declared, his voice heavy with urgency. Tonight, the director gasped, eyes wide with shock. Mr. Blackwood, your enthusiasm is noted, but we must adhere to the procedures. I have a team of lawyers ready for anything, Jason interrupted. I can't bear to leave my daughter here for even one more night. Sophia paused, her heart racing as she neared the Bentley. Is everything okay? Jason inquired. Her gaze met his, raw vulnerability etched across her features. Do you really want me? The question struck him, raw and piercing in its clarity. Jason knelt, locking eyes with her. Sophia, he began, weighing each word with precision. What we can conforming with some encouragement. Sophia, he began, weighing what tonight revealed you to me for the first time. Fatherhood feels like an uncharted territory to me. He inhaled sharply. I crave you without a doubt. We'll find a way through this, side by side. Her lips curved, a fleeting ghost of a smile appearing for the first time. All right, she replied, her voice steady as she slipped into the car. Jason's penthouse soared above the city, a testament to opulence and precision, where every detail whispered elegance. Each piece of furniture, each artwork, whispered of triumph and elegance. Everything was exactly as it should be. Everything mattered. Up until this moment. As the elevator doors slid apart, Jason's heart raced while Sophia absorbed every detail of her new world. Her eyes widened at the floor-to-ceiling windows framing the glittering city skyline. The stark gray and black furnishings, the abstract sculptures worth more than most homes. Is this your home? She inquired, her voice a whisper lost in the expanse. Yes, Jason replied, a rush of realization washing over him as he beheld his home anew. Empty walls, devoid of memories, whispered of a life consumed by duty. Sophia gripped her suitcase, dwarfed by the grandeur of his meticulously crafted life. This is your room, he murmured, guiding her through the dimly lit hallway. The guest bedroom felt cold and distant, a stark reflection of the penthouse's sterile elegance. Jason switched on the lights, exposing a king-size bed that overshadowed Sophia's petite figure, while the windows framed the breathtaking view that mirrored the living room. Sophia noted its vastness, placing her suitcase down with care. We will exceed expectations. Tomorrow, Jason vowed, but deep down, he was lost on what a child's room truly needed. Need a hand with unpacking? She refused to believe it. I have so little. The words lingered, a stark reminder of their worlds apart. In the kitchen, Jason's gaze fixed on the refrigerator, filled with pricey wine and gourmet takeout, yet hauntingly empty beyond that. He had no idea what children consumed. In the silence, he grasped his phone, tension crackling in the air. What should I get? What do you want? Sophia replied. Anything is fine, as she perched on the bar stool, her legs swinging just above the floor. They shared Thai food at his dining table, a place that had never known the warmth of a family meal. Jason observed as Sophia meticulously sliced her food, her table manners strikingly refined for someone so young. Did your mother really show you how to eat like that? He asked, a wave of regret crashing over him for bringing up Emily so lightly. Sophia's head dipped in agreement. Mom believed that kindness outshines all luxuries. The profound truth pierced Jason's soul. Emily cherished the real over the facade. As Jason lingered in the doorway, watching Sophia pack her meager belongings, a few clothes, a tattered teddy bear, and a cherished photo of Emily, an unfamiliar weight gripped his chest. For a man who had mastered control, who had forged an empire through careful choices, Jason Blackwood had just made the most reckless decision of his life, and he stood on the brink of the unknown. Jason lay awake, haunted by restless thoughts. His mind spiraled through the day's events. The note, the shelter, those blue eyes reflecting his own. After endless tossing and turning, he surrendered and drifted to his home office, a realm filled with accolades and business tomes. In the depths of his desk's bottom drawer, a box lay hidden, untouched for years, a haunting reminder he couldn't bring himself to throw away. He paused, heart racing, knowing the moment he opened it, old scars would bleed anew. Within were the echoes of his life with Emily. Concert tickets, handwritten notes, a watercolor sketch of him laughing. Moments he seldom shared now. Jason clutched a faded photograph. Emily on the beach, her golden hair dancing in the wind, her smile bright and unforgettable. She was pure sunshine, her artistic spirit a stark contrast to his calculated thoughts. "You should have told me," he whispered to the photograph, his voice a raw blend of anger and grief. 3 days alone, Emily. A faint noise at the doorway yanked him from his reverie. Sophia stood in oversized pajamas, a hasty gift from his staff. Her blonde hair, reminiscent of Emily's, was a tangled mess from sleep. "I'm sorry," she whispered, urgency lacing her voice. A sound pierced the silence. Jason slammed the box shut. "It's okay. Rest eluded you?" She shook her head, her gaze locked on the photograph he clutched tightly. "That's her." "Ah, yes," Jason whispered, memories flooding back from long ago. Sophia stepped into the room, her heart racing, unsure if she truly belonged. She held onto a picture of you both, right by her bed. A knot formed in Jason's chest. She really did. Sophia nodded, then ascended onto the leather sofa facing his desk. "She claimed you were on the brink of something monumental, that your focus was elsewhere." Her fingers danced over the leather, each touch a whisper of longing. She whispered, "Your eyes live in him." Jason gazed at her, the soft contours of Emily's face, yet those eyes, his, unmistakably piercing through the moment. What legacy had he left for this child he had never met? His resolve? His unyielding pride? "Did she?" he started, his voice trembling. "Did she speak of me often?" Sophia paused, her mind racing. "At times. Often, when I inquired. She felt nothing but understanding for you, if that's what you're concerned about. Yet, in Jason's mind, she ought to have been. She was justified in her feelings. She believed you'd make a great dad one day." Sophia pressed on, "When the time is right." The words struck like a punch. Did Emily realize her time was slipping away? Had she, from the shadows, arranged this moment, offering him one last opportunity to validate her faith? "It's late," he murmured, grappling with the surge of emotions that threatened to consume him. "You need to rest now." Sophia nodded, her heart racing as she slipped off the couch. She hesitated at the door. "Jason, what is it?" Finding you was everything. Jason sat frozen, the photograph gripped tightly in his hand, long after she had gone. He had always seized every chance, yet he let the most crucial slip away, supporting Emily and their daughter through it all. Tomorrow would change everything. Tomorrow he would finally set things straight. Morning broke, revealing the stark truth. Jason Blackwood, a titan of billion-dollar deals, was utterly lost when it came to caring for an 8-year-old girl. He lingered in the kitchen, eyes fixed on the refrigerator, hoping it might conjure a breakfast fit for a child. "Is there any cereal left?" Sophia emerged, clad in yesterday's attire, a haunting presence beside him. Her hair was drawn back, a lopsided ponytail hinting at chaos beneath the surface. Jason shut the refrigerator door, the silence heavy in the air. "No way. Most days, it's just coffee." Sophia nodded, a weight settling in her chest, as if his truth had been lurking in the shadows all along. Mom insisted that without breakfast, clear thoughts slip away. The innocent remark, so casually thrown, clenched his heart. What other precious insights had Emily revealed about him? She was absolutely right. He gave in. "Let's grab breakfast, then we have to pick up a few things for you." They wandered through the department store, an hour later, lost in their thoughts. An experience utterly alien to Jason. He usually left the dull tasks to his personal shoppers. Amidst the children's clothing, he felt a piercing vulnerability. "Choose anything," he murmured, his hand sweeping aimlessly through the air. Sophia's gaze flickered to him, doubt etched in her eyes. "Everything, absolutely." She bit her lip, moving slowly through the racks, her fingers grazing a sleeve, a collar, yet choosing nothing. In a heartbeat, Jason grasped the truth behind his hesitation. "Sophia," he murmured, lowering himself to meet her gaze. "Forget the cost. Focus on what truly matters." She squirmed in her seat. "Mom always warned me, check the price tag first." A fresh stab of truth cuts deep. As he built his fortune, Emily instilled in their daughter the importance of financial prudence. He nodded, recognizing the wisdom in those words. Today feels like a turning point. This is essential, not optional. This is essential, not optional. Sophia's hands trembled as she chose each item, the weight of her decisions heavy in the air. Choices made with purpose, always. Everything matters. She glanced at him before every addition, searching for his approval, until he finally insisted she no longer needed to ask. Sophia's eyes sparkled as she discovered the art set, paints and brushes calling to her, igniting a fire within. "Do you enjoy painting?" Jason inquired, the answer echoing in his mind. Her head dipped in silent agreement. "She showed me the way." She claimed it captures emotions when speaking feels impossible. Jason swiftly added the art set to their cart, heart racing. It came from her, a legacy etched in your very being. Her talent was undeniable. "I understand," Sophia whispered. In desperate times, she parted with her art, each sale a silent sacrifice. Every casual revelation cut deeper, a stark reminder of the chasm between their lives. His overflowing, theirs meticulously measured. Worlds collided, and an 8-year-old girl stood at the heart of it all. 3 days in, a fragile rhythm started to emerge. Jason had reshaped his entire week, pushing aside meetings and delaying trips, choices that felt unimaginable just days before. His executive team was left in turmoil by the abrupt shift, yet he provided only the barest of clarifications. He would protect Sophia's secret, keeping her hidden from the press for as long as he could. Every morning Jason rose before dawn, tackled urgent emails, and whipped up a quick breakfast, waiting for Sophia to finally step out of her room. Meals were silent, yet the stillness grew less heavy. "I have to get you into school," Jason declared, his voice cutting through the morning silence as they shared toast and eggs. The education coordinator suggested a few compelling choices. Sophia stirred her scrambled eggs, lost in thought. "Do you long for the days of school?" he asked, a sudden emptiness gnawing at him, aware of the vast unknown that was her life. She simply shrugged, a world of unspoken feelings in that one gesture. "I enjoy learning, yet kids often question when things change." Jason grasped it in an instant. Questions about her mother lingered, now replaced by the shock of living with a father who had vanished for 8 long years. "We'll discover a perfect place," he vowed, "a place where you truly belong." That evening, as Jason toiled in his home office, a piercing cry shattered the stillness. He shot up from his chair and sprinted to Sophia's room, his heart racing wildly. She writhed in her sleep, tears cascading down her cheeks. "Mom," she sobbed, "don't go." Jason froze in the doorway, gripped by the anguish in her voice. This surpassed his skill. Numbers and forecasts fell short in this moment. "Sophia," he whispered, drawing closer to her bed. "Sophia, rise and shine. Only a dream." Her eyes snapped open, filled with confusion and dread. For a fleeting instant, her eyes flickered with confusion, as if she were waiting for another soul. Reality slammed down hard. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her small fists wiping away tears. "No need to apologize," Jason said, perched uncomfortably on the edge of her bed. "Nightmares are a part of life. Nightmares are a part of life." She nodded, drawing her knees tightly to her chest. The silence hung heavy until Jason, lost and desperate, reached out and grasped her small hand. To his shock, Sophia stayed close. Her fingers gripped his tightly, a desperate lifeline in the storm of her emotions. They lingered in that moment, fingers entwined, as her breath slowed and the weight on her shoulders lifted. "Do you want some water?" he finally asked. She refused to believe it. Can you linger just a moment more? Jason Blackwood, CEO of a global enterprise, held his daughter's hand, the weight of client calls and quarterly projections slipping away as she drifted into sleep. The next morning, Jason discovered a drawing on his desk, an awkward yet unmistakable portrait of himself, crafted with tender strokes of colored pencil. At the bottom, Sophia had penned, "Thank you for staying." On a Tuesday morning, the protective bubble Jason had built around their new routine shattered. His phone vibrated, a flurry of urgent messages from his PR director demanding attention. "Call now. A tale unfolds." Shattering news about your daughter. Jason's stomach plummeted. He anticipated this moment, yet he wished for just a little longer. Sophia must adapt now. He must find a way to protect her from the looming judgment. Mr. Blackwood, his PR director, spoke when he called. "Tomorrow the Daily Chronicle unveils a gripping piece. Hidden Heir of the Billionaire unveiled. They captured moments of you and Sophia at the department store. A statement is essential." Jason's eyes lingered on Sophia's silent bedroom door. As she prepared for her first day at Westridge Academy, a prestigious private school, a flicker of hope ignited within her, a chance for stability in a world of chaos. "Hold everything back," he commanded. "Silence hangs heavy, truth obscured. I'll take care of this on my own." As Sophia stepped out in her new uniform, navy blazer and pleated skirt, hair perfectly brushed, Jason was overwhelmed by a fierce protectiveness he had never known. "You look so official," he said, trying to keep it light. She pulled at her collar, anxiety coursing through her. "Is it all right to feel this fear?" Her question pierced through him, raw and unexpected. In his world, fear was a forbidden truth, a vulnerability to hide at any price. "It's fine," he whispered, his eyes revealing more than his words. New beginnings sent a shiver down the spine. In the car, he wrestled with the choice, to warn her about the looming media storm, or stay silent. Should she brace herself, or would that only heighten her nerves for the first day? "Sophia." He started with caution. "Attention may soon find us, drawn to your presence in my life." Her gaze lifted from her lap. "What type of focus?" "Occasionally the papers reveal glimpses of my life. My work, my struggles." Realization flickered in her gaze. "Is it because you matter?" "Because I have wealth," he clarified softly. "A stark divide exists." As they reached Westridge, Jason guided her to the administration building, feeling the weight of the stares from other parents. By afternoon, the tale had ignited. Photographers lurked outside Jason's office and penthouse, a silent threat looming over him. He watched as Sophia slipped into the car, her silence heavy in the air. "What was your first day like?" he inquired. Her gaze pierced the glass. "Madison questioned whether it was true that you only wanted me after my grandmother passed away." Jason gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white with tension. "What did you just say?" "I insisted. I had no idea." Her voice trembled, barely a whisper. "Is it real?" The question lingered, a silent storm of devastation. Traffic inched by, a suffocating silence as Jason fought for the words that eluded him. "I had no idea about you," he finally admitted. "If only I had known, everything would have changed. How starkly different." She pushed harder. Jason gazed at his daughter, really seeing her for the first time, and spoke with a raw honesty that felt foreign yet vital. "I can't say why, Sophia, but your presence means everything to me right now. It may not have been flawless, but it was real. In a world where looks overshadowed truth, maybe that was their deepest desire. I am Sophia Harrison." That was true until last week, when Mr. Blackwood Jason offered me the chance to take his last name. I promised to consider it. Mom might get it if I switched it up. She insisted through it all that he remain my father. My secret drawing lies concealed beneath my pillow. Jason and I stand hand in hand, framed by the towering glass of our home. I poured my soul into this, yet fear grips me at the thought of revealing it to him. What if he hates it? What if he only says he likes it out of obligation? Miss Peterson, my art teacher, believes I possess the same talent as my mother. She revealed it to me yesterday, right after I completed my painting for the showcase. A lighthouse on a cliff, the same one Mom and I cherished last summer before illness stole her away. She said the lighthouse was like Jason, standing tall, guiding others, yet forever distant from it all. Your painting has remarkable depth for someone your age, Miss Peterson said. I didn't reveal that I understood depth all too well. Watching a loved one fade away day by day reveals the rawest depths of emotion. Will Jason leave as well? Not like Mom did. I get it, it's different. But he has his own way. He puts in the effort, making breakfast, asking about school, yet his phone buzzes incessantly, and his thoughts drift elsewhere. That night, my nightmare shattered his meeting. In his eyes, I glimpsed fear, like I was a puzzle he couldn't piece together. Madison asked me today at school if it felt amazing to have a billionaire. Dad, I simply shrugged. How do you convey that you'd give up everything just to have someone who truly desires your presence? When the social worker arrived, she asked if I felt happy here. Words escaped me. Sometimes, a flicker of hope ignites, like when Jason read to me or framed my drawing. But then, Mom's words echo. Jason loves his work more than anything. I watch him glance at his phone, as if tethered to a life that pulls him away from us. The Seattle trip fills me with dread. Miss Rebecca is kind, yet she remains a stranger. Once he's gone, will he see how much simpler life is without an 8-year-old tangled in the chaos? Mom always warned me not to hope too much from him. He walks his own road, she'd say. Yet in the stillness of night, I can't help but dream of what it would mean if he chose to let me walk beside him. Yesterday, I caught him in a heated phone argument about the Seattle trip. I get it, he said, frustration lacing his voice, but the timeline is a mess. Could he be referring to me? Am I the reason for his delay? Jason sat in his office, eyes locked on the acquisition proposal that could seal Blackwood Enterprises' fate as the unrivaled leader in global markets. The Seattle deal was his dream, a culmination of relentless effort, soaring profits, and the chairmanship he had long desired. Only one issue remained. Finalizing the IAB deal meant 3 long weeks in Seattle, 3 weeks away from Sophia, and the weight of that distance felt unbearable. Mr. Blackwood, Rebecca lingered at the threshold. The board awaits in the conference room, tension thick in the air. Jason nodded, his tie pulled taut. Did the school reach out? Nothing today, Rebecca whispered. She paused, then said, Sophia's art show is still set for next Friday. Do you want me to change your schedule? The exhibition of emotions. Sophia had whispered it once, a fleeting thought over breakfast. My painting made it into the student showcase. She never inquired about his presence, never emphasized the date or hour. She shielded her heart, bracing for the sting of disappointment. Mark it on the calendar, Jason commanded, his voice cutting through the tension in the boardroom. 12 eager faces fixed on him as he stepped inside. They had only seen the relentless, unyielding Jason Blackwood, a man who never let personal feelings cloud his business choices. Gentlemen, he started, his voice steady yet charged. The Seattle takeover. The presentation captivated everyone. The projections are flawless. A fragment of his mind lingered in a school art room, where an 8-year-old girl poured her mother's talent onto the canvas. Immediate action is crucial, the CFO insisted. Be in Seattle by Monday. You'll oversee the transition for at least 3 weeks. It's crucial. It begins. Friday held the art show. Jason could catch the show and reach Seattle. But who would look after Sophia in his absence? What message would he send by abandoning her so soon after his promise? Mr. Blackwood, is the timeline satisfactory? The board chairman's voice shattered his reverie. The old Jason would have jumped at the chance. No second thoughts. Business was everything. But now, everything has changed. I need 24 hours, he said, shock coursing through him. I have urgent personal matters to confront. Confusion danced in the eyes of many. Jason Blackwood lived without personal ties. He stepped into the office, only to be halted by his assistant. Mr. Blackwood, a visitor awaits your presence. His insistence is unyielding. The man in the office rose as Jason stepped inside. He was impeccably dressed, his sharp features framed by a chilling gaze. Robert Harrison introduced himself, his handshake firm and unwavering. Emily's brother, a shadow in her heart. Jason's defenses shot up in an instant. I had no idea Emily had a brother. We were never close, Robert confessed. Clashing hearts. I'm here now, driven by my love for my niece. Sophia, Jason said, his voice a tightrope of calm. Absolutely. I'm here to talk about her future. Robert unveiled a folder brimming with legal documents. I'm fighting for custody. Jason's gaze locked onto Robert Harrison, his heart racing as the weight of the custody filing crashed over him. Emily's brother, a man who had always been distant, now demanded his place in the family. Jason's voice was icy, cutting through the tension. Let me understand this clearly. You were gone while Emily suffered. You stood back while Margaret tended to Sophia. Now that she's here with me, you choose to play the worried uncle? Robert's face betrayed nothing. Mr. Blackwood, I'm only looking out for Sophia. The courts lean towards blood relatives, particularly those with solid family foundations. My wife and I share 3 precious children. What parenting experiences have shaped you beyond these recent weeks? The accusation pierced deep, revealing an unsettling truth. Jason was a father, but only for a fleeting moment. What gave him the right to decide what was best for Sophia? Yet, memories of her nightmares flooded his mind, her cautious smile, the art she created, and the fragile trust she had started to place in him. He recalled his vow, the weight of future promises pressing on his heart. You might share her DNA, Jason whispered, but you will never be her family. I exist. Once Robert was gone, Jason's lawyer spoke with brutal clarity. This will be a challenge. Their case holds weight in the eyes of the law. Jason glanced at his watch. The board held its breath. With the art show just a week away, his choice about Seattle loomed large. The custody hearing looms on the horizon. All at once, everything collided, demanding he finally confront his priorities. That evening, he discovered Sophia sitting alone at the dining table. Homework loomed ahead. Her gaze flickered up as he stepped in. Then she buried herself back in her math problems. How was your day at school? He asked, his fingers trembling as they loosened his tie. All right. A science quiz unfolded. I aced it. That's excellent, Jason breathed, his eyes alight with fervor. Sophia, we need to discuss something important, something profound. She dropped her pencil, her expression instantly closed off. Jason knew that look all too well. It was the very one he relied on for the toughest negotiations. A business crisis brews in Seattle, he started. The company needs this. You have to go, she said, her voice steady but heavy with unspoken weight. Just 3 weeks. Sophia nodded, her focus shifting back to the pages before her. Understood. Rebecca might choose to stay with you, or we could make other plans. It's fine, she cut in sharply. I get it. Yet her swift acceptance cut deeper than mere disappointment. It was surrender, the reaction of a child who learned that adults always choose their own needs over theirs. Your art show is next Friday, Jason whispered, urgency lacing his words. It's etched in my calendar. Sophia glanced up, shock flickering across her features before she swiftly concealed it. Your presence isn't necessary. It's really not important. It belongs to me, Jason replied. In an instant, hope ignited in her gaze, only to be swiftly subdued by the weight of experience. She shrugged, then buried herself in her math problems. He had to tell her about Robert's custody claim, but the weight of it felt too heavy for her fragile heart. Not now. Later that night, Jason gazed out from his office window, surveying the city that had become his empire. For the first time, the shining skyscrapers and clever deals felt empty next to the pure trust reflected in a child's gaze. The Jason Blackwood of a month past would have never doubted his journey, but that man had never comforted his daughter after a nightmare, or met his own gaze, pleading silently, "Will you be different from those who abandoned me?" Tomorrow, he faced a choice that could shatter everything. He had to defend his daughter while staying true to the company he had sacrificed so much to create. Jason's gaze locked onto the laptop screen, fatigue igniting a fire in his eyes. The Seattle acquisition documents swirled in his vision, a chaotic mix of pressure and expectation, as he fought to juggle the weight of his career's biggest deal and the fragile connection with Sophia. For days, he juggled 2 worlds, a corporate titan by day, an awkward father figure by night. At 9:47 p.m., everything unraveled in a pivotal video call with Seattle investors. Mr. Blackwood, about the urgent issues in Section 12. The investor's voice pierced the silence of Jason's home office. A piercing scream shattered the silence, echoing from the hallway. Jason stood still, torn between $1 billion chance and the heart-wrenching cries of his daughter. One moment, he snapped, silencing the call as he hurried to Sophia's room. She sat upright in bed, tears streaming down her face, gasping for breath. "A fresh torment haunts me." "Sophia," he whispered, his presence a quiet storm beside her. "Everything will be okay. You're safe now." She was there, Sophia breathed out. Mom was present, then vanished. She was nowhere to be found. Jason's hand rested uneasily on her shoulder, the weight of the call pressing on him, the fate of millions teetering on the edge. Only a dream, yet it felt so real. The earpiece buzzed, a relentless call to action. Impatience simmered among the investors. "I have to wrap up this meeting," he stated, already on his feet, attempt to drift back into slumber. "We'll speak at dawn." Sophia's expression shattered, yet she acquiesced. "I regret the interruption." "It's fine," Jason replied, his focus slipping away, lost in the relentless buzz of the earpiece. "Just stay in bed this time." As the words escaped his lips, a chilling realization struck him. He crossed a line he could never uncross. Sophia's face tightened, the fleeting openness vanishing into a haunting emptiness that felt all too known. His own defense mechanism stared him down. "I will," she whispered, drawing the covers tighter around herself. "Sleep tight." Jason snapped back to the call, wrestling his mind to grasp the acquisition terms and market projections. He clinched the preliminary agreement, a triumph that should have filled him with joy. He felt empty, haunted by the ghost of Sophia's closed expression. A change lingered in the air, quiet yet profound. Sophia's politeness was unwavering, her answers clipped to yes or no, the conversation barely breathing. She withdrew, silencing her stories of school, hiding her drawings away from him. Their once strong bond shattered, reducing them to mere strangers in the same room. Jason was blindsided when the child welfare caseworker showed up for her scheduled visit. "This is standard procedure," Mrs. Chen said, placing her briefcase on the coffee table. "I must evaluate Sophia's adjustment and confirm the living conditions are suitable." Jason nodded, a wave of anxiety crashing over him, a feeling foreign to board meetings. Mrs. Chen leaned in close to Sophia, their words a hushed secret, while Jason sat in his office, feigning focus but straining to catch every muffled syllable. "Mr. Blackwood," Mrs. Chen remarked later, her face a mask of professionalism tinged with worry, "Sophia is distant. When I asked if she feels at home here, her silence spoke volumes." Jason's stomach twisted in knots. "She's finding her way." "We are one." "I understand," Mrs. Chen said softly. "Children crave stability and the warmth of emotional presence. Your schedule looks intense, especially with the trip ahead." "I'm going to her art show before I go," Jason said, his voice tight. Mrs. Chen noted something crucial. "That's uplifting. I'm worried about you being away for 3 weeks so soon in your relationship. What if Sophia sees this as abandonment, particularly after losing her mother?" The question hit Jason like a bolt, leaving him breathless. He never saw it from that angle. He saw the trip as a business need, blind to the deeper wound it would inflict on Sophia. "I'll call you every day," he promised. Mrs. Chen's face betrayed nothing. "Mr. Blackwood, as a parent, you face heart-wrenching decisions. At times, the best choice for business clashes with what's best for our children." After she left, Jason lingered in the hallway, engulfed by the haunting silence of Sophia's room. For the first time, he questioned if success had cost him too much, and if he was on the brink of repeating his past errors. Jason faced the boardroom, eyes locked on him, anticipation crackling in the air. Saturday morning, the flight to Seattle awaited. Contracts lay ready, the fate of Blackwood Enterprises teetering on a knife's edge. All was unfolding perfectly. "The board has gathered for an urgent meeting." Chairman Walter Morgan spoke, his voice heavy with authority, addressing the urgent concerns surrounding the Seattle acquisition timeline. Jason adjusted his tie, his mind racing with strategies for his defense. He braced himself for the inevitable resistance after asking for small changes to support Sophia's art show. "Jason," Walter said sharply, "several board members are worried about your dedication to this acquisition, especially in light of your recent personal issues." The room pulsed with a heavy silence. All eyes were on Sophia. Secrets laid bare. Every business publication buzzed with the story, igniting fierce speculation about the impact of Jason's secret daughter on the company's fate. "My commitment to Blackwood Enterprises is unwavering," Jason said, his voice steady. The minor schedule shift won't alter our strategic stance. Richard Carter, the fiercest board member, leaned in, eyes blazing. Jason, with all due respect, this company was forged through more than just minor schedule tweaks. It was forged in unwavering commitment and relentless drive, traits that have always defined you, not anymore. The weight of the implication pressed down, suffocating and undeniable. Jason's heart raced with a fierce protective pride. They had witnessed him give up it all for this company. They anticipated this outcome, without a doubt. "What are you really saying, Richard?" he asked, his voice a calm facade hiding a storm. "You need to clarify your priorities," Walter interjected, urgency lacing his words. "Fully commit to the acquisition, leave for Seattle tomorrow, and stay for 3 weeks. Or take a step back during this personal transition." The ultimatum came wrapped in corporate niceties, yet Jason saw through it, understanding its true weight. A looming danger. Show your allegiance or face the consequences. Just as he opened his mouth, his phone buzzed violently. The school's number glowed ominously on the screen. Jason seldom answered calls in board meetings, yet an instinct pulled him away. "Mr. Blackwood." The school counselor spoke with a steady voice, laced with worry. "Sophia is in trouble. She was overwhelmed with emotion during the family tree exercise in class. She's here, yet her heart calls for you." Jason's chest constricted. "I'm on my way now." He stepped back into the boardroom, fingers brushing against his suit jacket, tension crackling in the air. "Gentlemen, I must go. Urgent family crisis." Richard let out a derisive laugh. "This is precisely what troubles us." Jason halted at the threshold, a profound change stirring within him. "The meeting ends here. Until tomorrow, I'll give you my answer soon." 30 minutes later, Jason found himself in the school counselor's office. There sat Sophia, curled in a chair, her small frame turned inward, eyes swollen and red from tears. "What transpired?" he inquired softly. The counselor revealed. The class was crafting family trees when a classmate questioned why Sophia only drew herself and her mother. A harsh conversation erupted about missing fathers and orphans. Jason's heart ached at the thought of Sophia confronting those questions by herself. "Are we going home now?" Sophia whispered, her fragility more apparent than ever. "Home. A refuge, a heartbeat, a memory. Neither your house nor the apartment. Home. A refuge, a heartbeat, a longing." Jason felt the weight of its importance. The drive back was silent, until Sophia broke the stillness. "Are you furious about having to leave work?" Jason's eyes widened as he caught sight of her. "Absolutely not. What makes you believe that?" She shrugged, gaze fixed on the window. "Mom claimed your work meant everything to you." The words pierced deep, their truth undeniable. For years he chased his empire, driven by the need to prove himself, to gather success and wield power. "Everything shifts, Sophia," he murmured softly. "People transform." In the penthouse, Jason prepared hot chocolate, a gesture from his mother, echoing through his childhood. At the kitchen counter, they sat close, an unexpected duo discovering solace in a shared moment. "I have no idea what to add to my family tree," Sophia confessed, gripping her mug tightly. "Others have family, warmth, and companionship. I just had Mom here. What now?" Her voice faded, the weight of unspoken loss lingering in the air. "Now you have me," Jason whispered, his voice trembling with urgency. Sophia gazed up, her piercing blue eyes mirroring his own intensity. "How long will it last?" The question pierced the facade, shattering all corporate niceties. This was the real battle, the one that held everything in its grip. "As long as you need me," Jason replied. "Forever, even at the cost of vital opportunities." Jason's mind raced with the board meeting. The ultimatum, the Seattle deal, everything he'd sacrificed for success. He gazed at the small, fierce figure before him, a blend of his blood and Emily's spirit, already burdened by too much loss. "Absolutely," he declared with unwavering conviction. Even so, that night, after Sophia fell asleep, Jason lingered in his office, fixated on the framed drawing she had created of him. His phone buzzed, urgency pulsing through each vibration. Board members, investors, the Seattle team, each one relentless in their demands, truths, promises, choices. Rebecca stood in the doorway, a presence that demanded attention. The board awaits your decision by morning. Jason's head dipped in silent agreement. I understand. She paused, then spoke with a raw honesty that caught him off guard. 7 years by your side. Your resolve on business decisions has always been unshakable. I've never had a daughter, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Rebecca's smile flickered, a whisper of emotion. I believe you're choosing wisely, no matter the path you take. Once she was gone, Jason grabbed his phone and called Walter. As the chairman picked up, Jason's voice cut through with the same unwavering authority that forged his empire. I'm going to my daughter's art show this Friday. Then, I'll connect with the team in Seattle through video conference. I don't need to be there. This acquisition must succeed, and you understand that. Walter's silence stretched, heavy and charged, before he finally spoke. The board will be furious. They can vote me out, Jason said, his voice steady, yet heavy with unspoken weight. I believe our shareholders would favor a CEO who can creatively navigate challenges instead of just pushing through them. He hung up, a weight lifted, a rare lightness flooding through him. Tomorrow loomed with dire consequences, maybe even devastating ones. Tonight, Jason Blackwood felt an undeniable truth. He faced the ultimate challenge and emerged victorious. As dawn broke, he steeled himself for the board meeting, but a call from his lawyer shattered his resolve with alarming news. Robert Harrison has rushed the custody hearing. It's set for next Wednesday, just before your Seattle trip. He argues that your work commitments render you unfit to be a guardian. Jason's jaw clenched, weaved under his gaze. It seems that way. The moment is now unsettling. Do we stand a chance? His lawyer paused, uncertainty etched on his face. Your travel plans and the board conflict spell trouble ahead. The courts prioritize stability and presence above all else, sidelining financial might. I must show both, Jason declared, his voice steady. I'll meet you at the office in an hour. As he stepped into the boardroom, the air crackled with tension. Jason wasted no time, unveiling his bold alternative plan. I've transformed the Seattle acquisition team. Rebecca will drive on-site operations as I keep a watchful eye through daily video calls. Our legal team will tackle the regulatory issues, while I'll participate remotely for the crucial negotiations. Walter's face clouded over. This is deeply unsettling. My situation is the same, Jason said, his voice steady. Gentlemen, in 15 years of building this company, I've never sought a favor. I ask now not from a lack of dedication, but to honor a deeper obligation. To a child you've barely met, Richard interrupted. Jason held his gaze unwavering. To my daughter, who has endured the pain of losing everyone she has ever cherished. To the vow I took to stand apart from those who left her behind. Silence enveloped the room. At last, Walter found his voice. Your proposal will be considered, and we'll meet again after the quarterly reports are in. It lingered in the air, neither acceptance nor dismissal. Jason would seize it. For now. He arrived early at Westridge Academy, slipping quietly into the back of Sophia's art class. Her gaze was locked on the canvas, oblivious to his presence. Her small hands danced with intent, each stroke breathing life into the lighthouse painting. Miss Peterson spotted him and moved in silently. She possesses remarkable talent, Mr. Blackwood. Emily would feel a surge of pride. I know, Jason whispered, his voice heavy with understanding. If only I had known sooner. You're here now, the teacher said, a weight in the air. That's everything. Sophia's heart raced as she caught sight of him, disbelief flooding her gaze. You showed up in my class. I wanted to witness your talent, Jason stated, his voice steady. When I first encountered your mother, she was crafting something extraordinary. Every confrontation, every risk to his career faded away in the glow of Sophia's radiant smile. In that moment, Jason finally grasped Emily's truth. Some things demand total sacrifice. The courtroom loomed, sterile and cold, as Jason adjusted his tie, bracing for the pivotal negotiation that could change everything. In the boardroom, he ruled with an iron fist. Here, he was merely a beggar, vulnerable to the whims of fate. The custody battle had engulfed his life for 2 relentless weeks. Board meetings were assigned. The Seattle acquisition surged ahead, leaving him in the shadows. For the first time in Blackwood Enterprises history, Jason activated the emergency succession plan, appointing Rebecca as acting CEO while he fought to save Sophia. "All rise," the bailiff commanded as Judge Martinez stepped into the courtroom. Jason stood, eyes locked on Sophia, seated with her advocate in the front row. In her navy dress, she seemed tiny, blonde hair pulled tight, eyes wide, absorbing the weight of the room. Robert Harrison and his wife embodied an ideal of traditional family values, flawless and captivating. Their attorney swiftly showcased their credentials. "Your Honor, my clients have nurtured 3 remarkable children. They share a solid bond, rooted in community and love, creating a nurturing home where Olivia can flourish. Above all, they are bound by blood to the child, a connection that Mr. Blackwood can never possess." As Robert took the stand, his words dripped with practiced sincerity, each one a calculated move in a high-stakes game. "All we desire is the very best for our niece. Mr. Blackwood is a businessman above all else. His life is a whirlwind of travel and erratic hours consumed by corporate ambition, leaving no space for fatherhood." Jason's attorney struck back, unveiling the profound changes he'd implemented. The altered hours, the guardianship plea, the college fund set up for Sophia. But Jason caught the flicker of doubt in the judge's gaze. As Jason stepped up to testify, he tossed aside the meticulously crafted statement from his lawyers. He poured out his heart, raw and unfiltered. "Your Honor, I won't claim to be a flawless father. 8 weeks ago, my world was missing her, and I didn't even know it. I've stumbled countless times. Every day I dive deeper into the unknown, absorbing lessons that shape me. Yet, the Harrison family remains oblivious to a crucial truth. Parenting isn't about being flawless. It's all about the choice we make. Since Sophia entered my world, I've made her my choice, day after day. I've decided to face her nightmares, to uncover her favorite breakfast cereal, to endure animated movies that baffle me." Jason shifted his gaze to Sophia, her eyes locked onto his, unyielding. "I opted for her art showcase over the Seattle deal that could change everything. I stepped away from my company to battle for her in this courtroom. I'll always choose her, above business, above money, above all else. Forever." He faced the judge once more. The Harrison family carries Sophia's blood, yet they remain unaware of the photograph of her mother that rests beside her bed each night. Unbeknownst to them, she hums softly while painting, echoing Emily's spirit. They have no idea she's courageous, compassionate, and wiser than many grown-ups I've encountered. His voice trembled. "They say blood binds us, yet they vanished when Emily needed them most. In her darkest hour, Sophia stood alone. I arrived in her life when the clock was ticking, but now that I'm here, I'm not leaving her side." Silence enveloped the courtroom as he concluded. Even Robert felt the weight of unease. Everything changed the moment Rebecca made her shocking request to testify. She unveiled a timeline, tracing Jason's metamorphosis from the instant he found Sophia's note, through every choice that led him to put his daughter first. She concluded, "I've worked with Mr. Blackwood for 7 years. In that time, I've seen him forge an empire with relentless determination. Yet, no achievement, no accolade, has ever brought him the pure joy that being Sophia's father does." As the judge paused to weigh her decision, Jason dropped to his knees before Sophia in the dim hallway. "Whatever comes," he vowed, "we will confront it side by side." For the first time since the custody battle began, Sophia clung to him, her arms encircling his neck tightly. "I know," she whispered. Judge Martinez returned, her face a mask of unreadable calm. With a deep breath, she scanned her notes one last time before meeting the gaze of the room. This court must prioritize the child's interests above all else in custody matters, leaving adult concerns aside. Mr. Harrison embodies a steadfast family foundation, rich in experience and resilience. Mr. Blackwood presents a fresh connection, yet his unwavering dedication and ability to evolve shine through. Her gaze locked onto Sophia, a moment suspended in time. Sophia's unmistakable preference shines through, revealing a deep bond with Mr. Blackwood forged in mere moments. The court awards permanent custody to Jason Blackwood, allowing Sophia to stay connected with her extended family, the Harrisons, if she desires. The gavel struck down, sealing fate. Jason's heart raced as Sophia's tiny hand intertwined with his. They had triumphed over more than just the law. They had claimed their place as a family, defining it on their own terms. Jason lingered in the doorway, coffee mug clutched tightly, eyes fixed on Sophia's room as the morning light poured through the curtains they had picked together. The space was unrecognizable from 3 months prior. Soft blue walls embrace shelves brimming with books and art supplies, while a bulletin board bursts with drawings and cherished mementos. It had transformed into something far more profound. Sophia found her refuge here. Sophia sat on her bed, sketching with fierce focus, her blonde hair cascading over her face, evoking memories of Emily. His chest tightened with pain. In the week following the court's ruling, an unfamiliar peace enveloped them both. Judge Martinez awarded Jason permanent custody, highlighting Sophia's strong wishes and Jason's remarkable dedication and adaptability. The Harrison family withdrew, shaken by the weight of Jason's unwavering dedication. "Morning," Jason whispered, his voice a gentle brushstroke in the quiet. Sophia's gaze lifted, her expression igniting with joy. "I'm creating something special for your office." He smiled as he stepped into the room. "A new masterpiece for my collection." She nodded, the sketchbook hidden from view. "It's unexpected." His phone buzzed again, the 4th time in an hour, urgency pulsing through him. The board hungered for his complete comeback. The Seattle acquisition raced ahead, and investors demanded proof that Blackwood Enterprises was still in strong hands. Jason muted the device, ignoring the message that awaited him. Instead, he proposed pancakes. "Blueberries, you say?" Sophia's eyes sparkled with intensity. "Is there no other option?" In the kitchen, they flowed together, a harmony once thought impossible just weeks ago. Sophia carefully measured the ingredients, her heart racing as Jason heated the griddle, anticipation hanging in the air. As they toiled, he realized how deeply his priorities had transformed. The corporate titan, once a master of time, now lost himself in an hour of joy, crafting oddly shaped pancakes with an 8-year-old. The man who once sought flawlessness in others now embraced the chaotic beauty of family life. "Are you facing crucial meetings today?" Sophia inquired softly, her fingers trembling as she let the blueberries tumble into the batter. Jason flipped a pancake, his voice steady. "Nothing that can't wait." "Is it my fault?" Her voice trembled with unspoken fear. Jason faced her, heart racing. "I've come to a realization, Sophia. Work will always wait. The company will endure if I step away for just a morning. These moments, making breakfast, hearing about your day, watching you grow, are fleeting and precious." Sophia pondered, her face etched with gravity. "Mom always said, time is the greatest gift you can offer someone." "Your mother had great wisdom," Jason whispered, his voice heavy with emotion. During breakfast, Sophia slid a folded piece of paper across the table to him. "This is for you." Jason opened it, revealing a meticulously crafted family tree. This assignment felt different, a stark contrast to the distress of the last. Emily stood at the top, her name encircled by delicate painted flowers. Jason and Sophia hung below, their names entwined in a web of intricate branches. "It's stunning," he whispered, his finger following the contours. "Miss Peterson saved me." She whispered that family trees can take any shape we decide. Sophia's finger traced the tiny inscription at the bottom, a secret waiting to be uncovered. "This is written in Mom's hand." A quote from Emily's letters lingered in the corner, pulling at Jason's heart. "Love lives in the small moments, in the choices we make every day." I discovered it in her journal. Sophia revealed, she must be at peace now. Jason bore the heavy truth of those words, the gift of forgiveness, the warmth of acceptance. Against all odds, the family emerged, bound by an unbreakable connection. That afternoon, Jason finally chose the path he'd wrestled with for weeks. He summoned the board and revealed his plan to redefine his position at Blackwood Enterprises. He would stay on as chairman, guiding the vision, but would retreat from daily tasks to embrace fatherhood. He faced the stunned board members, declaring, "Some of you might view this as a retreat. I view it as a leap into what really counts." As the sun dipped below the horizon, Jason and Sophia stood on their penthouse balcony, gazing at the city, its lights flickering to life in the encroaching darkness. "Do you long for the grind of constant work?" Sophia inquired, her body pressed against the railing. Jason paused, the weight of the question pressing down on him. "The certainty is gone, and I ache for it. Business problems can find their answers. People are intricate beings," she inquired, a faint smile playing on her lips. "Especially you," he whispered, his fingers brushing her cheek as he tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. Yet, that's what gives it meaning. Sophia's face hardened. Sometimes, the ache for Mom is overwhelming. I know, Jason whispered, his voice heavy with understanding. I regret not being there for you both when you needed me most. But you're here now, she said, her voice steady yet heavy with meaning. In that instant, Jason Blackwood, a man who had dedicated his life to erecting glass and steel monuments, chasing wealth and power, suddenly grasped the essence of true richness. It lay hidden, far from boardrooms and bank accounts. It thrived in pancake breakfasts, art projects, bedtime stories, and small hands grasping his. He received second chances he never earned, yet they were granted to him regardless. As Sophia's hand found his, Jason gazed at the empire he had forged, then down at the little girl who had transformed it all. Choosing one felt like losing everything. His greatest achievement would remain unseen, hidden from the pages of financial reports and business magazines. It stood beside him, gripping his hand, revealing the essence of what it meant to finally return home.